What are the Miranda Rights? But most importantly, who was Miranda? And how did this all start? Ernesto Miranda was a 20-year-old, at the time, Mexican-American man who lived in Arizona. All of this started March 2, 1963, when a young woman, 19-year-old Lois Ann Jameson, came to the police officers and had explained that she had been kidnapped, brought to the desert, and raped by a man she couldn't recall. But she couldn't remember the car that kidnapped her, and gave a detailed description to the police. With the description Lois provided of the car, they traced it to 4 suspects and started their interrogations. After Miranda was lined up with the other suspects, Miranda was interrogated alone by the police officers for more than 2 hours, until he confessed in detail he was capable and he did commit the crime. On the day, March 13, 1963, after Miranda signed the form obliging that he was guilty to his confession, he was brought to court and was given a lawyer, but he was found guilty by the court and sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison, charged with the kidnapping and violation of Jameson. But there was a fundamental part missed in his case. But before interrogating him, the police officers had ceased to remember to inform Miranda of his 5th and 6th Amendments, to keep silent until you have a lawyer, and to have an equal process whilst being interrogated. Hearing his case, Miranda was put in court again by the American Union of Civil Liberties. They reopened the case of Miranda versus Arizona, claiming that the confession was false, and also that he was never informed of his rights in those 2 hours of investigation. His case was reopened and redone, leading to him being reconvicted again in October of 1966. Miranda served his new sentence in the Arizona prison until 1972. After his release, he was killed in 1976 at the age of 34 years old. In the bathroom of a bar, he was injured with a knife after getting in a bar fight, leaving behind a wife and 2 kids.
What changed right away, and what are the pros and cons? What changed immediately was that people were not obligated to speak, and they had the right to ask for a lawyer. If someone does not read their rights, you cannot use the evidence against them in court. The police must read you your rights. You may waive your rights at any time. Miranda rights prevent the accused from admitting to a crime they did not commit. One positive is that there are more than 945 versions of the Miranda rights available to accommodate certain groups or certain populations, such as children with disabilities and different ethnic groups. Positive. If a certain group cannot afford a lawyer is provided to them based on their income. A negative. People with disabilities or vulnerable groups may not understand their rights. Another negative. People were often interrogated for hours before admitting to crimes they did not commit. Another disadvantage, refusing to speak can hinder police investigations. Did the Miranda rights impact people in the same way? No. Many people had difficulty understanding their rights or the language used, and the translations were not correct for some non-English speakers. Miranda rights change history. The balance of power has improved, helping to ensure that people are treated fairly within the justice system. People can now decide how to handle their case by talking to the police, remaining silent, or hiring a lawyer. This ensures that law enforcement accurately obtains and records witness statements. If a person is not informed of their rights, their case may be dismissed or a conviction overturned. It influenced our future because in the 1960s, there is so much that passed. The Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, and the anti-war demonstrations, your countercultural movements, political assassinations, and the emergence of the generational gap.